Good morning. We're going to get started with some facts. Facts. I don't know if you can see these, so I'm moving them on up. Okay. Hopefully I don't drop this. 45, 42, 48, 49, 35, 6, 48, 64, 27, 24, 21, 20, 9, 30, 6, 72. Sorry, I don't know if you can see those. Now let's go into some divisibility. How do we remember a number is divisible by 2? If the last digit ends in a 0, 2, 4, 6, or 8. That's how we know if a number is divisible by 2. How do we know if a number is divisible by 3? You probably said sum of digits, and you're correct. If you had the sum of the digits, and you could divide it by 3. How do we know a number is divisible by divisible by 4? There's 2 checks. You can try 2 things. Number 1, the last 2 digits are both 0 and 0, or the last 2 digits are divisible by 4. If you had the number 9,623,848, we would know that the number is divisible by 4 because the last 2 digits are divisible by 4. How do we know a number is divisible by 5? That's the easy one if it ends in a 5 or a 0. I cannot talk today. How do we know a number is divisible by 9? Once again, sum of digits, but this time it has to be divisible by 9, the sum of the digits. What about 10? A number is divisible by 10 if it ends in a 0. And in a 0. Sorry, you cannot see this, but I just dropped a bunch of charts. All right, let's look up here. What number do we have here with our Roman numerals? This is 15, 3, 1,100, 29, 600, 400, 40, 150. 150. All right, let's go over some cards. I want you to reduce these. Reduce. 1/2. 2/3. 1/2. 1/3. 1/3. 2/3. 1/4. 3/4. 1/2. 1/2. 2/3. 1/3. 1/4. 2/5. 2/5. 1/3. 1/4. 1/3. 1/2. 1/4. 2/5. 2/3. 1/4. 2/3. And 2/5. Now, I want you to tell me the fractions for these. Okay? So hopefully you said there's 3 places, so 31 thousandths. 2 places, 2 hundredths. 2 places, 51 hundredths. 111 thousandths. 21 hundredths. 3 hundredths. 91 hundredths. 8 tenths. 8 tenths. 1 100th. 3 thousandths. 3 thousandths. All right, let's go over some more cards. 16, 1,760. 12, reading these backwards is very interesting. 2,200. 1,000. 5 tomatoes. 5,280. 4. Sorry, I am like reading these upside down or backwards, and it's very weird. 24. 2. 7. 20. 12. About 52. 36. 12. 10. 8, 365, 100, 4, 60, 8, we learned this the other day, 3, 60, 366, 10, 1,000, 5280, 5,280, 2, 3, and 2,000. Did you get them? Right now, if you need to pause this, you can take your speed drill. It's not graded today, so you don't have to send it to me. And you actually don't really have to do it, but it will just build your speed if you want to work on that. Let's review yesterday's lesson for our geometry. Twinsies, we got the congruent angles. Right angle, 90 degrees. Just a regular angle. Boop, a point. This is lines, and they are called parallel lines. This is a ray. It's got a point and then no end. This is a line, no beginning, no ending. This is a line segment. See the difference? Line segment has 2 points. Line has no points. These lines cross. These are intersecting lines. These lines cross and they have right angles, so they are perpendicular lines. Let's talk about today's lesson for geometric shapes. This is a simple closed curve. A simple closed curve does not have any point of intersection. Okay? See how the shape itself, there are no openings within the shape. There's no openings in here, but it has no intersecting points. It is a simple closed curve. And so if you have like a rectangle, or you have like a triangle, or this shape, these are all simple closed curves because there's no intersecting point. So like a square or circle, simple closed curve. Now let's look at the next one. This is called a polygon. And a polygon is also, you can notice, is this a simple closed curve? It is, because nothing has intersected. So this is also a simple closed curve that is made up of line segments. See? So this is called a polygon. Poly means many. Polygon. And so a polygon is a simple closed curve. So it's just like a simple closed curve, except it has line segments. So for example, you can see here, this would not be a line segment here, because an arch is not a line segment, but this is a line segment. So this is a simple closed curve. This is also a simple closed curve, but it's also a polygon, because these are line segments here and not and they're not just random. Does that make sense? I hope so. Now we get to talk about some of our shapes. So we are back to kindergarten again. Here's a plane shape. Some of these you might not have learned in kindergarten because these are a little bit harder. This is, I don't know if you remember from last year, this is a parallelogram. A parallelogram means that it has parallel sides that are opposite. So look, these two are both going the same way and will never meet. And these two are going the same way and they will never meet. So this is what makes it a parallelogram. A square would also be a parallelogram because the two sides are going the same way and the two sides are going the same way. A rectangle also would be a parallelogram because two sides going the same way, two sides going the same way. Does that make sense? These two lines will never intersect at one point, and these two lines will never intersect because if we kept going, they would just go. So this is a parallelogram. This, it has four, also has four to the side, and this is a rhombus. A rhombus is the same thing as a parallelogram, except do you notice that the rhombus has four equal sides? It almost looks like a square. To describe it, it almost looks like a square that's on its side. Okay, but this would be a parallelogram because look, these two lines go straight and then these two lines go the same direction. So this is a parallelogram, but this is also, more specifically, this is a rhombus because all four are the same. And to go back and hopefully not confuse you even more, it is also a polygon because it's made up of line segments, and it's also a simple closed curve because they never intersect. Alright, so the main title is rhombus, but underneath it passes all the other categories as well. I don't know if that makes sense. This right here is a trapezoid. A trapezoid. For some reason, I don't know why, but I always think of diagramming when I look at this. Trapezoid means that there's only two parallel sides. So, look, you can see these two sides are parallel, but these are not. At one point, if we kept going with this, this would intersect with this line. So, this is a trapezoid. Let's see. It's not a rhombus because all four sides are not parallel. It's not a parallelogram because not all four sides are parallel. It is a polygon, however, because it's made up of line segments, and it's a simple closed curve. So this is a trapezoid. This here, three sides, you should know this already. This is a triangle. Triangle is a polygon with three sides, and there's many different shapes of triangles, but it's a polygon that has three sides. Next, we have a square. A square is a rectangle that has four equal sides. It's a rectangle with four equal sides. This is a circle. A circle, obviously, and then this is a rectangle. And a rectangle is is also a parallelogram because you can see the sides. It's a polygon. It's a simple closed curve. We're going to go over some of these in a second on your paper. So I'm not going to go through each one specifically, but we are just going to get started on our paper. So you can look at your paper on page 269. Let's see. And you can look at the top and see they have explanations for all of those, just in case you're looking at that later. Is this a simple closed curve? Yes, it is. Is this a simple closed curve? Yes, it is. Is this? Yes. 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 Yes, it is. Simple closed curve. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Ha! No, it's not. This is not a simple closed curve. Because, sorry, it is a simple closed curve, but it's not a polygon. It's not a polygon because this is not made up of line segments. Okay, now we call these all plane shapes. These are all called plane shapes right now because you can see plane on there, plane shape, because they're all flat. Does that make sense? These are all called plane shapes because they're flat. And for example, if we had a cylinder shape, or like our globe that we have at class that's shaped like a sphere, that would not be a plane shape because it's not flat. Does that make sense? This is a cylinder shape, and see, this is not plane shape because it's not flat. I don't know if that makes sense. Let's look at your page number 1. Place a check in the blank if the shape is a simple closed curve. Number 1, it's a simple closed curve. Yes, it is. It just doesn't have a point of intersection. Number 2, the two circles. No, and can you get an idea of see how it has an intersecting point? So it's not a simple closed curve. Okay, what about next? The triangle? Yes. The shape after it? Yes. The circle? Yes. And the bow tie shape? No. Do you see the intersecting point right in the center? So it is not a simple closed curve. So simple closed curve is just basically the first shape, third, fourth, and fifth, because they have no points of intersection. Okay. Number 2, give all the names for these shapes. And so this is why I was going through some of that before, but then why I didn't get specifically into it, because I figure we're getting into it right now. Number 1, for example, it's a simple closed curve because because it doesn't have a point of intersection. It's a polygon because it's made up of line segments. It's a quadrilateral. Well, we didn't go over that one on my cards. I don't have that card. A quadrilateral is a polygon that has 4 sides. So, like a triangle is 3 because tri. A quad, think of like a quad. You have 4 sides. Okay, so quadrilateral. It's a parallelogram because the sides are parallel. It's a rhombus because it's 4 equal sides. It's a rectangle because it's a parallelogram with 4 right angles. And it's a square because all sides are equal. Isn't that weird? But a square is actually a rectangle as well. But a rectangle is not a square. Okay, because the sides are not equal. Let's go over B. B, let's start with the top. Is it a simple closed curve? Yes, because the points do not intersect. So write that down on the first line. It's a simple closed curve. Alright, our next check, is it a polygon? Are they made up of lines? Yeah, they are, so it's a polygon. Put that next. Okay, let's check the next one that they have. Quadrilateral. Does it have 4 sides? Yes, it is. So it's a quadrilateral. Parallelogram. Are the opposite sides both going the same way? They are. So it's a parallelogram. And then let's see. Is it a rhombus? Are there is it a parallelogram? Yes, with 4 equal sides. Yes, it is. So you can put rhombus there. And it is not a rectangle or a square. Like I said, it looks like a square on its side, but a rhombus is not a square. So that's it for B. But that was quite a lot. C. Let's go through C. Is it a simple closed curve? Yes, it is, because it doesn't have a point of intersection. Is it a polygon? Yeah, because look, it's made up of line segments. Is it a quadrilateral? It's not a quadrilateral because it's not 4 sides, no. Which means it's not going to be a parallelogram. It's not going to be a rhombus. It's not going to be a rectangle or a square. What's the shape? Yeah, it's got 3 sides, so it's a triangle. So put that in the third blank. Does that make sense? Okay, D. First of all, is it a simple closed curve? Because that's what we're starting with. Yes, it's a simple closed curve. Is it a polygon? Is it made up of, and remember, a polygon means it's made up of line segments. Yeah, they're all lines. They're all lines, so yes, polygon. Is it a quadrilateral? Oh, in the definition of quadrilateral, remember, it means it's a polygon with 4 sides. So yes, it is a quadrilateral. There are 4 sides there. Now, at the bottom, what shape is that? It's a trapezoid. Trapezoid. That's a weird word. Okay, E. E, you already know that shape, but let's go through it. E is simple closed curve. You got it. It's a polygon because it's made up of made up of line segments. It's a quadrilateral because there are 4 sides. Is it a parallelogram? Yes, it is, because the opposite sides are going the same direction. Is it a... Oh, sorry, we're at the bottom. So what shape is it? It is a rectangle. You got it. F. Okay, let's start. Simple closed curve. Yes. It's a polygon because it's made up of line segments. It has 4 sides, so it's a quadrilateral. And The opposite sides are going the same way, so it's a parallelogram. You're right. Let's go to section 3. True or false? A polygon always has 4 sides. That's false, because a polygon, poly means many, doesn't mean 4, so that's false. B, that is a right angle. True or false? That is true, because you can see it has a little square in there, which means it's a 90-degree angle. Okay, C, blank is a point. True. D, that's a line segment. False. It's actually just a line. A line segment would have 2 points, so you need 2 points on either side. E, a quadrilateral is a triangle with 3 sides. No, false. Quadrilateral has 4 sides. Let's go to review. Chad's job in April was to paint the inside of the garage. His dad gave him $50 for paint. Chad needed 3 gallons of paint to do the job. The paint cost $13.50 per gallon. How much change did Chad have after he paid for the paint? Okay, what do we have to figure out first? Yeah, first we have to figure out how much the paint cost him. And it was $13.50 a gallon, and he bought how many gallons? 3, I think, right? Yeah, 3. So I have to figure out what is $13.50 plus $13.50 plus $13.50, or $13.50 times 3. And you would get $40.50. So that's your first answer. $40.50 is the paint cost. But then they said how much change did he get from $50, right? So then you take your $50 and subtract $40.50, and you will get $9.50 change. Okay, $9.50 change. B, it took Chad several days of working 2 hours per day to complete the job. So he's working 2 hours a day. In all, he worked 18 hours. How many days did Chad paint before he completed that job? Okay, you have 18 hours, and only 2 hours a day. 18 divided by 2 is 9 days. Hopefully you didn't say 36 days, because that means he's only getting in 30 minutes a day. Alright, so for section 5 and 6, I want you to pause this video, and I'm just going to give you the answers so that you have them, okay? So pause, and then when you're done, press play. Here's your answers. 53,912. B, 3,066. C, 558,085, or 558,085. D, 668,640, or 668,640. 6A, 3/10. B, 1. C is 15/4, which equals to 3 3/4, and D is 7/15. This was a short math video, and I hope you were able to get in all of our concepts for today, and have a great rest of your day. Bye.